Political analyst, just smart guy in general, Scott Hughes, and damn well dressed, let me be the second to say. Scott Hughes in studio for a little bit longer. Okay, $186 million bond issue goes to the voters, 4-3 vote yesterday by the Shreveport City Council. Where you want to start with that one? What are your initial thoughts about the city taking on pretty hefty amount of debt?
Well, it's a lot of debt. It's I think about 10 or 11 million more than the last time we did this. Cedric Glover's administration had the previous highest debt. We can take the debt on. We were paying the tax now. That's one school of thought, that that whole this doesn't cost you anymore. I haven't seen the numbers. I've been out of town for a couple days. I haven't heard the numbers since they did last night's deal. In theory, this could let some of the taxes roll off. So in terms of can we handle it, we're handling it now. I think the largest question is, A, do we need it? B, has it been vetted properly? And where we are today, is it something the voters will vote for? We've had all this fight at the city council. We've yet to really, analyze will the voters support this.
What is your pulse on that? What do you think the voters are thinking about this right now?
Well, a lot of the people that speak up, me, your show, different places, they tend to be anti-tax. But if you look at the history of Shreveport, I can't remember more than once or twice we've ever voted a tax down, especially a tax that's going to come at us in three segments, as I appreciate it. One's going to be for drainage and streets. One's going to be for public safety. And the third area is going to be, I think, parks and recreation, which is really buildings, things we have to fix. My gut is right now, cold, it likely passes. The Shreveport voters have shown openness to approve taxes if they get to the people. I don't know that we'll have a huge negative campaign. Four of the council persons voted for it. You had James Fleury on. I think James's district needs improvement. I think that's why he voted for this. And I think one thing got missed in this whole thing, we got caught up in vetting of this or that. The coalition of the existing council persons passed this. Because I count James Green as an existing council person.
Yeah. He's been there before.
Not his first run through. But if you look at Bradford, you look at Fleury, you look at Bowman, they're all term limited out. And so they were like, we need to get something going. This is my last chance. And so you're seeing the existing council saying these are the needs. They've been there already 5 years. The three new council persons, I think, were hesitant to move forward. But at the end of the day, this will go to the people in November. I think it has a decent chance to pass.
But the details of it, people are still questioning. Do we actually know which roads are going to be fixed? I mean, do you have that question today?
I don't. I mean, you asked the question, do I think it'll pass? And so, yes, I think it'll pass. I think the average Shreveport voter is not going to ask that question. There are going to be some that ask that question. A lot of them listen to your radio station. But you're looking at a market population of over 200,000 people. You're looking at an election in November. You're looking at the ability to turn out a voter populace that can be told this is what Shreveport needs. And what they're going to be told is those streets are going to be divided in 7 districts. I'll ask this question. Are there streets in your district that need improvement?
There was one in my district that we passed in 2011 that they still haven't gotten to. So I'd love them to get to that.
Yeah, you'll hear about Knight Street. People complain about that. There's streets all over town. But at the end of the day, I think people are going to look at Shreveport and say we need to fix some things. Now, I think it can be beat. I think to get it passed, the mayor's going to have to take a lead. I think you're going to need strong support from at least 4 of those council persons. And of course, you're looking at a ballot. Depends what's left. The governor's race may be on that ballot. There may be nothing on that ballot if John Bell wins outright.
The point was made to me a couple of weeks ago by a former Shreveport city councilman. And he said he was looking at this bond issue. He said, from a political point of view, he said, if a Shreveport mayor wants to pass a bond issue, it's got to be in the first year because of the time it takes to implement the issue, to get the work started, and to see the results. He said if it's not done in the first year, then you don't see results by re-election time. Is there something to that?
Oh, I think there's a lot to that. If you don't get the ball rolling on a multi-year project, you don't reap the political fruits of that.
Excuse me for jumping in, and then I want you to finish for sure. And the point being that Aaron has made, well, hell, a whole lot of folks have made the point, what's the hurry? What's the hurry? What's the hurry? The last time we had a citizens panel, they took 11 or 12 months or whatever it happened to be. Why did we do this in 90 days or whatever? There is a political aspect to expediting the process.
Oh, it's a hugely political aspect. I mean, the whole thing of a bond election is politics. You've got to go to the box, and you've got to get 51% of the people. And so how do you do that? You put together something you think will be spread across town. You put together something that clearly got you the support of 4 council persons to get it on the ballot, and you hope on a day in November that you can pass that. I think one of the questions that you can ask, and it was asked a little bit, is does the city have the capacity to manage? I think you raised earlier, Aaron, that there are streets from the 11 bond issue that haven't been finished yet. One of the big questions of a lot of the local municipal boards here is, do we have the capacity to manage that much construction? That seems to me to be the problem, having watched this for years. Other cities can pass large bond issues, and they complete the whole thing in 3 or 4 years.
Right.
We seem to take 15 years to complete 6 projects, whatever it is in our bond issue.
It's silly.
And you look at the water and sewage, we've struggled with the consent decree to keep
Okay.
and maintain and get projects done. That's my concern. Can the city handle $186 million of construction? Is it needed? We probably need that and 3 times more in Shreveport right
Okay,
now.
Scott, help me. It's just you and me now talking. Just nobody's listening.
Oh, brother.
All right. This to me is a tax increase. I know the mayor says I'm going to preach, I'm going to be on the stump. This does not increase your taxes. This does not increase your. Help me understand how it's not an increase. When I've budgeted for my car note to go away at the end of December, in my household budget, I'm going to have no more car note in the end of December. And now you're going to tell me, oh, you're going to keep paying that car note because we need stuff. How is it not an increase?
Well, it's semantics. I think legally it's a tax increase, and I think that
Wait. Say that one more time.
I think legally it's a tax increase.
Thank you.
The current millage will roll off the books. We are, if this is successful in November, we would be voting another tax, a new tax on the books that would come in at or below the same level. So this marketing aspect of this angle, saying that it will not increase your taxes, that's comparing tax year over tax year. This issue actually was, I think, fought in the courts a couple years ago. I think John Settle, who you have on your show frequently, John challenged the Bossier School Board on this similar language and this similar issue of renewal versus tax. Unfortunately, on that case, I think, for clarity of the issue, the court said no, that the district did not violate the law and how they promoted it. And so the public, I think, understands that the taxes would go off, they'd come on. I think that the verbiage is very tricky that is used by municipal bodies to say your taxes will not change, meaning that you're going to stay the same. You've used the analogy of buying a new car. I think one of you used that analogy before.
Yeah.
And yes, your old car pays off. You're effectively taking the car note you had budgeted and you're buying
Putting it in
another
my
car.
vacation fund, whatever.
And most cities look at that and they like that approach from the city side because, like many people on their personal side, if you take the money you were paying for the car and you start buying a house or buying something else with it, and when the car breaks down 3 years later, it's very hard to go find the money for the car again. I think the problem we have in municipals, and particularly in Shreveport, is we're taking the money we were paying for one thing. We're going to buy a lot of new, more shiny things. But I think, as Liz Swain has beautifully said, we're not putting the money in to maintain that old car. And so it is going to get old. And so we get to the situation where the police station is now not usable. The only answer seems to be buy a new police station. We're not addressing why didn't we take care of the old police station? I think that's a question voters will look at. But right now, cold, I think the bond issue probably passes.